I know. He said it's gonna start at 11, and then he starts it 5 minutes before. I'm a strange guy. I don't know what to tell you. Welcome to the Painter Files presents Painter's Breakfast. I'm your host, Jaws Blake. How's it going? How was your week? What are you having for breakfast? Tell me in the comments. Today I'm having a nice black cup of coffee with a tiny bit of oat milk, so it's not black coffee technically. And then a Mediterranean bowl with veggie sausage, actually. So I'm really excited. I think this is gonna be cool. While I was standing in line, I thought about this kind of like idea about zhuzhing up the show as it speaks. I was thinking maybe I'm going to change the visuals of the show. I'm thinking kind of maybe a Bob Ross meets Science of Sleep. I will leave that to you to Google so you can figure it out. But yeah, no, it's exciting. I'm excited about it. I like the idea of kind of leaning deeper into this. I really love this show, so. Not just because I just eat food and talk trash, but the vibe. No. No, I want to bless you, little boy. Tom. Producer Tom. Yeah, I want to change it up. I'm thinking maybe kind of making decorations and all types of stuff. I'm probably going to film it in my studio. Because I have like lights and I have tables and decorations. I gotta make a bunch of stuff basically, but I like that idea. I like the idea of making a bunch of things for the show. So I'm gonna jump more into that. I said a little while back, I pulled back more from the podcast. Partially, I didn't have anything else to say, but more so, I just didn't feel as fulfilled with it. Like I started doing it and I had like this dream in my mind to tell these stories. And I've done that. I've done that over 150 times. So I think maybe I wanted to grow into this all along. Was kind of what I was hoping for in my subconscious mind. So yeah. In true decorative form, this dusty old guy joining the show. Frida Cuero. There you go. Those who speak Spanish, you'll get that joke. But yeah, life is nice. We went. Alec and I went on a date yesterday afternoon. We went to Hot Pot, which is like a Korean kind of soup thing. I tried to explain it to someone, and they were just like, "So you make soup?" And it's like, well, I mean, if you boil it down to its simplest form, yes, but it's such a soul nourishing experience that I feel bad for people who haven't experienced it yet. So you set these tables, and it has like 4 burners on it. They bring you a base. They bring you a soup base that you pick out. Good morning, Zeph. They bring you a soup base, and then you order all these food. You It's all covered in like the initial pricing. It's typically about 25 to $35, depending on whether you go during the day or in the afternoon. And then from that, they bring you meats and fish and like you go on this iPad and you order these foods to put into your base, and you basically you cook it and you make soup. But yeah, I normally do like fish and lots of mushrooms and lots of greens and uh, like I'm trying to think what it's called, like pumpkin and stuff like that. And it's just got like these, and there's like a little mixing bowl where you put spices and stuff, and you can dip it or you can put it in your soup, and it's just really good. Like I don't know how better to describe it. Like it shocks me that like more cultures haven't build your own soup. Haven't jumped on this. Like it's such a beautiful and wonderful experience. I particularly like it because there's a little robot that brings you your drinks, and it looks like a tabletop it looks like a stacking dish type of thing. We had a place like that where I used to live. Really fun. See, Zeph gets it. And yeah, little robot brings you your drinks and talks. It's like, hey, my name's Mimo. How's it going? Welcome to Hotpot. And then you get your drink and you hit the button and it goes away. And it's just this really nice experience. You can share with people the food and all that stuff. There's no rules beyond. You're only allowed to be there for like 2 hours though. Can't go any longer than that. No all day camping. Totally understand, totally respect, totally get it. I love how you get like little notifications while this is going on. Unrelated things. It's like, hey, by the way, this is the drugstore. Your prescription's ready. Come pick it up. And I'm just like, I will. Leave me alone. Not right now. I'm talking to my friends. Frida Cuervo's here. You can't be this way. You like the name Frida Cuervo? It's stupid, but it's perfect. I got this thing at like Target like 5 years ago. I got this one from one of my best friends, Carlos Bustamante. So if you see this, Carlos, shout out to you. It's for Dia de los Muertos, which is the very beginning of November, the Day of the Dead. And it is a little skull lady with little devils on her. And very Frida style. I don't know. I love it. I think it's great. I'm just having fun. I think that's kind of what this is all about. It's all about having fun. Yeah, so I thought those were roses. 100%. I like it more now. Basically, yeah. I'll bring it closer. He's got little goatees. I know I need to dust it. I'm not good about dusting things. I'm just not. I gotta get better about it. I'm growing up. Hey! Candy, how's it going? Dusting. What's that? Exactly, Zeph. Zeph gets it. I live in a Transylvanian mansion, and so I can't be bothered with the dust of my enemies. Obviously, that's where it comes from. No, but it's back to the show thing that I was talking about. So I want to make a bunch of like. I think I'm gonna do like a bunch of like paper mache masks and dust cones. You just have to do it once again. Yeah, exactly. It's a big dust is trying to ruin your life. No. So for the show, I wanna make a bunch of like decorations for the revamp, cause like this is nice, but I want something a little crazier, and I'm gonna do it in the studio. So I've got a build all this stuff out. But I really like it. I'm thinking I might get like star curtains or something for the background, and then lots of paper mache masks that I make to hang up, and then I'm thinking like Science of Sleep, where like I make a bunch of like cardboard, big looking esque type cameras, so it just looks like a studio, you know. Do like a tablecloth and like a little sign that says Painter Files, like hanging underneath. I gotta make all this stuff. None of these things exist right now. But I'm gonna draw them out because in art school, one of the things that's always stuck with me was when you want to make something big and grand, you have to sometimes just kind of make like physical plans about it, just so you don't leave anything out. Because like a billion ideas, and they all seem really beautiful, and I don't want to forget them. I just don't. I love them. To address the question that I always get, did you cut your hair? No, it's just pulled back. It's a weird thing that everybody asks every single time, but they do. Not everybody, but it's definitely a question I get probably like 9 times out of 10 on the show. Post or before? During or post? Not so much before. Hi, buddy. He wants me to throw his mouse. He has stripped this poor guy of his face. You ready? There you go. All right. Producer Tom rides again. Yeah. I don't know. I want to do more with this. I really do. I love a green tomato. I love green tomatoes. I just see this as like a thing that I want to expand upon. And so yeah, I'm gonna start working on that. I like the idea. I don't know if it's going to develop into a more production aspect, but I like it. Of course I'll show you my process. This is an art channel. There's no way to not show you. I'd go crazy if I wasn't ridiculously showy and gaudy about all the things I do. As far as making things and being silly. It's a part of me. I can't help myself. I think I'll go to IKEA and I'll buy like a little kid's like bed set. Like a blanket or something. And that'll be the backdrop. Tom will like it because he'll just lay on it all the time and go to sleep. Mochi will like it because she can scream into it, run around it, and then burrow, and then they can fight, and they can run off and be crazy. To the point where Alex is like, we gotta put that away. These guys suck. Your children are bad. And I'm just like, yeah, I know. You're right. Not wrong. They are bad. And then she and I will laugh about it because they are bad. They have this case of like all pet parents. They wait till you're comfortable, and that's when they fight and make a lot of noise and act all crazy. And you can't help it. I'm just like, cool. I was sitting down, and now I have to get up. And then, in true sense, they look at each other, look at you, and then run off together. Still fighting. Doesn't make sense. You're a wild man. You want to be on camera? Come here. Producer Dom, everybody. It's like, ooh, I like that. That's nice. Okay, bud. Okay. Mouse. Wow. There we go. He says, no pictures, no pictures. I'm too famous. So today is going to be interesting for me. I edited the last art video, so that's coming out in a couple days. It's jam-packed full of stuff. I think you'll like it. But then, because I had to do that yesterday, because it was sprung on me, that I have to take my father today to his doctor's appointment, which I was not expecting. My stepmother had eye surgery. Can't go. Can't drive. So I'm wheeling them around today. So I had to cancel a bunch of plans today to do that. That's okay. It's just one of those things you have to do sometimes. It's definitely not a thing I can do all the time. Because I have a job and I have responsibilities and I have other stuff that I have to do. But today, sure. It's kind of one of those interesting things. As you get older, you can take care of your family. Whether you're really able to or not, you do what you can. It's part of growing old. In most cases. Alright, here's the hot take for the show. Prepare yourselves. I've been seeing this trend of people asking people, and Alec asked me this with no shock whatsoever to my answer in any way. She said, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? And I didn't understand what she meant. Because I was like, that's such a random fucking question. Whether it's a question that's been going on social media for a little while. And all these men are like, oh, at least once a week, at least twice a month or whatever. And it's interesting. This is where the hot take comes in. It's interesting because, like, I feel like because of what we were taught about the Roman Empire, it's just not something that a lot of people of color probably think about because it was something that was kind of excluded historically. They're excluded from in a lot of ways. The more you've learned about it, because I had to look up stuff because I didn't know anything about it. I mostly grew up learning about like Egyptian hieroglyphics and stuff like that. Africa. So it's interesting though. Most people were like, oh yeah, these men are saying this and they're saying that. And I'm just like, I feel like this is like a white guy thing. Like, it doesn't seem, hey, Choppy, it doesn't seem like something, like when I think of my friends and where they're from, like all over the world and not involved with like Europe or America, it just doesn't come up, you know? It doesn't come up. It's not a... And there's a whole aspect of like, a lot of us couldn't really tell you the difference between like the Greek Empire and the Roman Empire. I remember studying it in school, but like, it didn't come up as like a social thing that we were really into. Like, we were really into Egyptian stuff. all the art, stuff with crocodiles, stuff with like bird head people and jackal faces and all that stuff. Like that was amazing. As a child, as a little boy, oh my god, that was incredible. And then like Mesoamerica, like the Mayans and the Aztecs and the Inca, like that was something that really like we were like, oh shit, this is amazing. They're like human sacrificing, and there's like jewelries and masks and these huge structures and all that stuff. I don't really remember anything about Roman Empire, to be honest. I don't think about it. I just don't. It doesn't interest me. I think the only thing, and this might be the Greek Empire, amusingly enough, is the only thing I remember about them was the discovery in museums of all these sculptures from that time period where they realized they weren't like carved marble and just marble coloring. They were painted to look more like the people who were a part of those empires. And so they were very colorful. They represented a lot of different ethnicities, a lot of different religions, all these things. And so that to me was interesting. My education started with Egypt and the Mayans and stuff too. Romans came more towards high school. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really impressed with the Roman Empire. You know, it was one of those things where like, well, they made aquifers and like pipes and water, you know, like ways to get water and stuff like that. And I was like, well, yeah, but the Mayans did that. The Incas did that. Like there were other people. We learned about like Native Americans and stuff like that. Like it wasn't so much like, oh man, this is incredible. These people brought something to the world that hadn't existed before. And I was like, no. We were like, no, we knew about that. We knew about that already. We learned about like the Maasai and stuff like that in Africa. The lion people, you know? Like, those were more of the things they focused us on. They didn't really teach us that much until high school about most of that stuff. It was like Shakespeare. We didn't get into Shakespeare until like middle school. It just didn't, it wasn't one of those things. And like in the middle of that, we were learning about like Paulo Coelho and stuff like that, like these prolific writers and artists from other cultures that weren't just, you know, go to this museum, see this sculpture, etc. Like even in art history, like it wasn't really as important, I guess, in a lot of ways. Even when we learned about like Norse gods and Hindu gods and stuff like that, like it still wasn't based on the Roman Empire. I remember like one semester of like going into like, you know, the Roman gods, mythology and stuff like that. And it was interesting, but it mainly just like it didn't stick with me as like the super cool things or whatever. I think like God of War, I guess that's Roman. I think. No, that's Greek. I think it's Greek. See, I don't know the difference. So it's just interesting. But yeah, to hear these guys go like, yeah, no, I think about that about once a week. And I'm like, why? Do you not do anything all day? Like I think about like witchcraft and stuff like that from all over the world and like here and Africa and so on and so forth. Like those are the things that really kind of stick in my mind. So the calaveras, the skulls and whatnot. Like, It's just not. It's not huge. So I wonder. I think the biggest problem they do when they do like these weird surveys are they don't ask a multitude of different types of people what they're into. Like I don't see people who I don't see people who come from like other parts of the world or families come from other parts of the world. Like when I think of like my West Indian and East Indian family and my Afro Latino family, like they think about more like South Asian mythologies and stories, not so much Europe or pre-Europe. There's a lot of bad blood in that direction, I guess. So I don't know. It's just interesting. It's an interesting thing to see, but it's also one of those things where it's like, did you ask like women? Did you ask non? I never want to say traditional because I feel like traditional is a lie. I feel like traditional is like this idea they say to make you feel like you're kind of a blurred line and outcast of the situation when in actuality like you are that thing, you are that person. It involves you and your history as much as it involves anyone else's. Sometimes it involves your history more than it involves other people's. So maybe like jazz and stuff like that helped kind of curve the world in a lot of ways. It's that water making a river through a stone type of thing. Like that music and that passion and those people, you know, it made the blues, it made rock and roll, it made in a way country, it made hip hop, it made the way we look at the way we tell stories, the way we like everything. So it's just kind of interesting. I don't know, perspective wise. I don't know where I'm going with this. Hot take. No. So I finished my food. I got my drink. I gotta head out in about what is it? It is 11:23 here. So I gotta head out around like 12:30. So I love you. Hope you have a great day. Peter out. Ciao. Bye. Boom boom boom. Bow bow bow. Later. Nope. There we go.